See, and when I'm talking about revolution, I ain't talking about Obama getting in the White House. I'm talking about a real revolution. I'm talking about one where the ability of this system to inflict its degradation and misery on people is stopped cold, its institutions dismantled, and new revolutionary institutions of power brought into being that will back up the people in transforming all of reality. And I'm talking about a revolution, the kind of revolution that's been made before, and where people accomplish great things. Like, look, we got problems with drugs and crime in this country. Well, when the revolution triumphed in China, they had 70 million drug addicts. But within 3 years, drug addiction as a social problem had been ended. Prostitution was widespread. Within several years, prostitution had ended as a social problem. This is what the revolution was able to accomplish by putting power in the hands of the people, by backing up the people with the new institutions of power. Now, revolutionary power in China was overthrown when Mao Zedong died. But Bob Avakian has taken up the understanding that Mao developed and led the Chinese Revolution on the basis of, and developed it even further. And that puts us in position to not only make revolution again, but go farther and do even better with it the next time. This system has no future to offer our youth, but the revolution certainly has a future. The youth who are suppressed today would be backed up by the new institutions of revolutionary power after a revolution was made. Not only would they be involved in meaningful work, building the things that society needs to survive and live a good life, but they would be challenged to help figure out what should be done, what should be built, how should it be built, and to deal with other questions that the revolution faced. They would be working together with people who had developed experience and skills in the old society. They would be working with them, they would be learning from them, but they would also be teaching them, because we got to draw on everybody to get the kind of understanding and experience we need. And the communists who would be at the core of the new revolutionary authority would be fostering an environment of diversity, inquiry, and even dissent as part of getting as close as possible an understanding of reality as it actually is, so that we could transform it in the direction of emancipating all of humanity. This is part of the development of the science of revolution that Bob Avakian has brought forward. Now, to do this, though, we got to get the youth out of the situation that they're in. And I'm going to go through this and end. This is what I want to end up on. Our youth are mired into some real bad shit. We are not naive. We're not Pollyanna. We know that our youth are out there drawn into crime, drawn into drugs. They're preying on other oppressed people. They're even killing each other for no good reason, and sometimes for no reason at all. So we know what we're up against. But we also know that it is not the youth's fault that they're in this situation. Bob Avakian did a talk. It's called, and hopefully I can get it right, Conservatism, Christian Fundamentalism, Liberalism, and Paternalism. Bill Cosby and Bill Clinton, not all right, but all wrong. And in that talk, he got into what is it that put the youth in the situation that they're in. Did the youth suck the jobs out of the black and Latino communities? No, the capitalist system did that. Did the youth underfund education in the ghettos and barrios across this country? No, it was a goddamn system that did that. The youth get faced with this situation where there's no meaningful and legitimate way to survive and have meaning in your life. And then when they make the choices within that, they get blamed for it. Well, we got a different approach to that. And again, it's not a naive one, because we know that the youth have to be transformed. We're not going to enlist the youth as they are into the revolution, because they ain't ready for that. But they can become ready. They can become ready through fighting the system that has brought all this shit down on them, fighting the power and transforming themselves and others for revolution. That's the approach that needs to be taken on this, because it's the system that's responsible for the problems in the first place, and it's through fighting the system that the youth can be transformed. It's not going to happen through lectures from Obama or Cosby about pull up your pants and stop giving your children those imaginative names that you give them and all the other stuff. And it's also not going to happen through telling them to get into religion and give it up to Jesus, because in fact, a lot of these dudes who are into a lot of this bad shit are also into religion, and they found a way to bring those two things together.